fix the titties. For sure the titties. Secure the titties. They're secured. The mommy milkers. Okay, so I guess we can just start. Hey, my name is Johnny.
My name is Rach.
We're both 23, I think. Right?
Mm-hmm. And we are both young MILFs.
Young MILFs. Young MILFs in the building. Hey.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So my kid, his name is Romeo. He's 19 months right now.
About to be 2 years coming up.
Bro.
That's crazy.
I'm not ready.
My baby, her name is Kaliana. We call her Callie for short. And she is approaching 3 months old already.
3 months.
Next week. Yep.
Little baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so tiny.
I know.
I forget what that's like. But yeah, so this is a Young MILF podcast.
Yes.
Wow. That's our crowd. I hope you guys are ready. We're about to get real and raw and just talk about life.
Yeah, all the things having to do with motherhood and
being a young MILF.
Yeah.
You know the vibe.
Yes, always.
So grab your White Claw, or like if you're not into that, you know, I get it. Like, get your wine, your Chick-fil-A sweet tea. Like, I don't know what you're drinking. Whatever.
Your tequila.
Yes,
it's
tequila.
fine.
Take a shot for me, please.
I think we should cheers on that before we
yes.
get started.
Yeah. I got the mango.
I have strawberry. It's really good. Mm-hmm.
You can hear us swallowing. That's beautiful. We only have one headphone, so Rachel cannot hear this whatsoever.
Not
but I
at all.
can in like the fullest capacity. I think today we're gonna get into how we became, or how we knew we're about to be moms. Like when was the moment, and what came with that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's just get into it. The realness.
So I know that I've told you before that, like, we've talked about it, like, a lot of women, like, have that, like, instinct, like, right away.
Yeah.
Like, that, like, third day, oh, my God, I know I'm having a baby, like, I'm pregnant. Like, some women have that, but, you know, and then there's that other half of women who maybe don't even know until they're having a baby.
Or there's the insane stories of people don't find out until they're literally in labor.
Exactly. No, exactly. Like, literally a baby coming out right now. Yep. But in my case, I was 5 weeks along when I found out.
Okay.
And I found out in, I guess, I don't know, not like a weird way. I was eating dinner one night. Keenan cooked us breakfast for dinner. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Mm. And all of a sudden I was eating, and usually I'm not a picky eater. Like, I like food. Like, you know, food's right. Life, of course. But I happened to be eating like a breakfast sausage, and I just like spat it out like so randomly. And Keenan just looked over at me. By the way, Keenan is my boyfriend. And
baby dad.
And baby dad. That too. Don't forget. Nope. But he looked over at me from the stove where he was cooking, and I was sitting down, and he was like, I think you should go get a test. Like, just randomly. Like, I don't think anything happened before that like made us like think there was a possibility. Mm-hmm. I think though that like I was late with my period, but like that was happening for a while. Like, I always had like irregular periods. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's basically been my whole life. So of course I'm thinking, oh, I'll probably get it like next week. Like, I wasn't too worried about it. But he just mentioned, go get a test. I'm like, okay. So me and my little cousin Nati just go at like, it was like 12 o'clock by now, and we go to Rite Aid, and I pick up the test, come home, took that shit, and it was, positive. That was it. Like, literally, like, in, like, not even, like, I got the clear blue one, so, like, the one that maybe takes, like, 5 minutes.
It says the words.
But it literally says, pregnant. I'm like, okay. But, like, mine popped up so fast.
Right.
Like, so fast. I was sitting there for maybe less than 2 minutes, and it was, like, right away. I was like,
did you
wow.
look at it the whole time, or did
no.
you? Okay.
I don't know why. Like, part of my head was like, okay, I'm not pregnant. But then the other part was like, maybe. Like, there's always that possibility. Mm-hmm. So I took it and I flipped it over onto, you know, the top part and just waited there. And I flipped it back over and it just said pregnant.
And then what did you do? And what did you guys do?
The first thing that I did, I just opened the door of the bathroom. I looked at Keenan, looked at Nati. Nati immediately knew. Like, she immediately knew that I was about to say, it says positive. Mm-hmm. It was just that look that I gave her. Like, girl. She put her hand over her mouth, like...
No, and that's definitely
in shock. Not what she said. You know the face she makes. Exactly, yeah, you can imagine it. She was literally shocked. And then Kean looks at me and I show him the test and he's just like, okay. Like, I'm like, okay, what do you mean okay? Like, like you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I guess. Like it's so weird because we had discussed, options in the past. Like, what if? Because, what if? Like, it happens all the time. Right. And
I mean, you've seen it happen. I got pregnant before you.
Right. No, exactly. I know exactly what goes on. So, we discussed it though, like early in our relationship, maybe like the first year in, like just because of what we were doing and all that. I mean, yeah, you know the deal. Yeah. But, yeah. So we discussed and we were just like, now is not the time. Like, that was like always the thought in our head. Like, now is definitely not going to be the time for us to do this because we're both trying to get into our careers. Like, with his videography, my modeling, like, we're not going to be able to balance a child on top of all of that. Yeah. And then, of course, so when that time came that we were actually in that situation, I was like, I'm not going to be able to keep this baby. Like, that was the first thought in my head, honestly. Mm-hmm. But then when I heard Keenan say, okay, I was like, oh, okay. Like, it was like immediate, like my brain like turned around and was like, yeah, this is my baby. Like, this is what's happening. And then from there, we went into my room and I sat down and I immediately called you. Because that's what you did with me. Yep. And that's what I thought at first. And I was also thinking, like, do I want to do something cute, like, for our friends? And, like, I just felt like it was so, like, natural just for me to, like, call everybody up, like, when the time was right. But yeah, you were first. Yep. And just to keep that tradition. Yep. And I don't know, what did you say when I showed you? Like, I forget. I think I just, like, I don't even know.
I was like, I knew it because I felt, I say this every time. I felt like someone around me was pregnant, and for real, I thought it was me, and I was freaking out.
Because didn't you feel that when you were actually pregnant?
No, like I felt like yes, I felt like I was pregnant before I knew I was pregnant. Mm-hmm. But I felt it in the air or something. I was like, bruh, someone around me is pregnant. Like, I just know it. And then you called, and it was like 2 a.m, around there, right?
Yeah, it was late.
It was like, I was on vacation, and Q was sleeping, and you're like, hey, and you were acting weird. You were acting so weird. And I was like, hello? Like,
who's this?
Like,
who is this?
But, but then you're like, is Q there? I was like, yeah. You're like, is he awake? I was like, no. Can you wake him up? I'm like,
you're like, what this is odd.
I was like, this is a setup. Like, something is happening.
I said that though because I wanted y'all both to be up. I was like, I need them both to hear this at the same time.
Yeah. And I think Q said it before you did.
He did.
I think he said, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And then you showed us the test.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew it. I literally knew it. Bruh, I was so happy it wasn't me. I was so happy it wasn't me.
You're like, thank God.
I was like, oh my God. It was in the air. It's cleared up. Somebody else.
Because Romeo was how old at that time? Like, young?
I don't know.
Like, he was young.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still young, but
like 9 months maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
Along those lines.
Yeah. But, yeah, then right after we called you, we didn't call anybody else for that night, I don't think. I don't know. I don't think we did. I think we waited till the next day just because I was going to urgent care in the morning just to get, like, confirmed. Like, I was like, I need them. Like, I just needed a doctor to do it. Like, I'm like, I need you guys to tell me if this is correct. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, after we called you guys, I, like, ran into my mom's room because I'm like, it was just so in the moment.
I was on the phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were.
I was on the phone.
So you just witnessed.
I told my mom. I said, "Keep me on the phone. I want to see this."
You witnessed the entire night, basically.
Yes.
So yeah, went to my mom's room and immediately just like showed her the test. Like no, like hesitation at all. Like, it was just so natural for me to do. Like,
sleeping.
I know. I think it was, she'd worked like the next morning, I think, and she was knocked out. This was like 2:00 in the morning. And I'm like, Mom, I'm pregnant. And she's like, what? Like, waking up out of her sleep. Like, my mom's such like you can wake my mom up with like a pin drop. So like me coming in, she's like, huh? Like,
oh my god.
So and then she was just like,
it was funny to watch though. Like, I'm laughing because I saw it. It was so funny.
Her hair's like in her pajamas.
Her dress.
No, I know. Her nightgown. Like we had to turn on this bright ass light. It was like she was knocked out.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so we told her, and then we went. We told her, and then we went in and told my dad. And all I know is that my dad.
What?
Yeah.
Rachel?
Yeah, I know. And then and then he had Keenan sit down, right? And I was like, oh shit, it's about to get serious, because he was like, I gotta talk to you, like I gotta tell you something right now. And and Keenan sits down on the little rocking chair, and my dad's like, he points at Keenan like this. He's like, you take care of my daughter. I'm sitting there like like, okay. Yeah. No, I mean, of course, right? But it's like, in that moment, you're like, shit, like, no, this is the real deal. A real moment. Yeah. But, yeah, so that was it for that night. And then I went to urgent care the next morning. I got it confirmed, and I was like, okay. Like, they're like, you're pregnant. I'm like, right.
You're like, I already knew that. Here we go.
But I didn't find out how far along I was until 2 days after that, on Keenan's birthday, because I was having cramping, and I was so fucking scared, because I was like, I know what this is, and I don't want to come to terms with it, but like, that was just like, you know, in my like fucking intrusive thoughts, like telling me that like I was having a miscarriage, like, right. So I was like, okay, I'm pregnant, cramping, duh, like, what's happening? So that was my immediate thought, and then we ended up just going to ER just to make sure, because I was like, this shit does not feel normal. So we go there. We were in there for a couple hours, because, like, you know how ERs work. Like, you won't leave there for, like, 8 hours. Like, you're in there for a long-ass time for whatever reason. Literally. Like, so I'm sitting in the room for hours, and then finally they take me back, and they give me an ultrasound. And they're, like, showing me the little tiny egg thingy. And they're like, yeah, you're 5 weeks in 1 day. And I was like, oh, my God. And I was like, it's there. Like, it's like, oh, sorry, I'm like burping. I don't know if that caught it, but I was like, so it's there. And they were like, yeah, it's there. I'm like, right, okay. But, you know, I wasn't pleading, like, I wasn't, none of that. The doctor came in and was like pushing on my stomach. I was like, yo, bro, calm yourself down, because, like, what are you doing? Like, right, like that's what I'm saying. But I guess they were checking my uterus or something. Yeah. But turns out it was implantation cramping, I guess. But I don't know. It could have been that. I don't know, because I was looking up like what it meant and everything, and they said that sometimes you usually feel that like when it first happens, like when the sperm like meets the egg, like implantation, you know. Yeah. But yeah, whatever that was, it was just cramping, and I guess my body like realizing that it was pregnant. So yeah, that was the whole thing about me. Like, it was a roller coaster for the first couple days, definitely. Like, it was like so surreal. Like, and then like me just like every day I wake up and look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm pregnant. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's a baby growing inside of me now.
That's a crazy feeling. Like, and especially when you don't see it yet, like, don't see like the actual belly or even the baby itself. Gosh. Like, that's a crazy, like, it's hard to explain, but I feel like a lot of women definitely go through that, or even all women, for real. I definitely went through that phase, because, you know, I didn't start showing for a while. Right. Remember, like, I carried very much, like, towards the back, I feel like. Yeah. Like, my belly wasn't big until I hit, like, 8 months. So, like, for a while, it didn't feel real, like, up until I was maybe, like, 5-6 months, honestly. I was like, okay. Like, up until I felt her kicking. Definitely. But yeah, that shit is always gonna be like, for any woman, like, especially when maybe it's not even planned, or maybe it is planned, like, like realizing that you are carrying a human. You're forming a human. Yeah. Like,
insane.
That one day gonna give you an attitude. Like,
yep. That you gotta spend your money on. I'm playing. But real shit though, like it's a huge responsibility. Like,
it's a lot.
It really is. It really is, and a lot of women don't talk about it. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know. We'll save that for another conversation, because that's a lot to talk about for sure.
No, that's a whole conversation
in itself. Yep. But what happened with you? Your story on how you knew you were pregnant, or how you found out.
So I, and opposed to you, who didn't find out until like a particular moment. I guess honestly, mine was kind of a moment too. I, for some reason, before everything, I felt like I was going to get pregnant in 2020. So when did you find out? What year was that? That
was 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so the next year.
Okay, so mine, I found out, or I felt like I was pregnant December of 2019. So it was actually going into the new year. It was our friend's birthday. His birthday is on New Year's Day. So on that day, we all put money together to get an Airbnb in Philly. And yeah, so like, me and my friends had like planned to get dressed up and get cute, whatever, and it's like day up, and I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to even go. Like, I literally, I just don't, I can't. I showed in my pajamas. I texted my friends, like, I'm not getting dressed up.
I remember I was texting you, and I was trying to kind of like to persuade you to like,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get there. I don't want to drink. It's New Year's. I'm freshly 21, a couple months I just turned. Not that I wasn't already drinking, if we're being honest, but you know, whatever.
Of course.
But yeah, like, I was not feeling it whatsoever. So yeah, I think I had like probably like 3 drinks that night, but I just like, I wanted to be alone. I wanted it to like cry. Like, I don't know. I was just like so out of it. Like,
something was so off, and I could
so
literally, the
off.
minute you got there and I saw you, I was like, something is up.
Yeah, like, I was way more emotional than usual, and I was already going through some stuff at the time, but like, I don't know, something about that was just so weird to me. And it was probably like a couple weeks later, I text my friends, I'm like, hey, like, I haven't gotten my period yet, and like, something's wrong. In addition to that, my titties hurt. Like, something, I just like, this shit just like hurts more than normal. Like, normally that happens for me, like, right before I get my period, my boobs will hurt. But that was like a different type of pain. And I was like, sometimes my period is irregular. So I was like, whatever, I probably just like, I'm probably gonna get it. But my friend, our friend Jess, she purchased a pregnancy test for me because like I was telling him about it, and she was like, I'm about to get you it. So mind you, we come here to this house and we do a drinking game, and this is on YouTube, but you don't see it. But on her dresser in her room, my pregnancy test is just sitting there while we're chugging Bud Light, like
the box of beers right next to it.
No,
it's so bad.
It's kind of messed up.
No, it is.
But I was like, you know what? Like, in a week... Oh, wait. If someone's watching this, like, don't judge me. First of all, this is a judge-free zone. Like,
yes,
do not
no
judge me.
Judgment at all.
Okay? Listen.
We're open over here.
Right. We don't care. I'm telling you the full truth. Like, y'all are too afraid to admit it. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Regardless, this is a judge-free zone. So
that's right.
Anyway. So, I was like, in a week, I will take the pregnancy test. Like, I will take it. Like, no, I'm not gonna push it off, whatever. Because, like, for real, I was scared to find out. Like, who isn't? For real.
Right.
Like, that is a scary thing. Especially, I had just turned 21. Like, I was afraid. And so a week came by. It was that Friday. I was working at Chipotle at the time. I went into work and I was crying making guacamole, and I went to my job. I went to the...
I'm just imagining you
trying to make it and like sobbing, like not okay. And I went to my manager at the time, and she was a mom too. And I went up to her and I was like, I need to leave right now. It was like 9 a.m. I was like, I need to leave right now. I think I'm pregnant, and I need to find out right this moment. Like, I can't sit through this whole shift and wonder. I can't. Like, I literally cannot.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay.
Right.
So I left. My pregnancy test was at my baby's I can't fucking speak. My pregnancy test was at my baby dad's house, and I went straight there, and I took it in the bathroom, and I put it in my back pocket, and I walked into the room, and I'm just standing there. And he's like, what is it? I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to look. Yeah. And so he's like, okay, I will. So like, I hand it to him out of my back pocket. And he goes, oh, it's negative. And I was like, oh, really? He was like, yeah, there's 2 lines. I said, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Are you? I was like, 2 lines? He was like, yeah, but one of them's kind of faded. I was like, bro.
Can you see them both?
2 lines is 2 lines. And I saw it because he showed it to me. And I just started crying. And, like, he kind of just, like, held me, whatever. And, like, he was just like, what are you feeling right now? Like, what's going on? And I was like, I'm just scared.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared. And there's so much that goes along with that. It's like...
Yeah, like, all the feelings at once,
every
honestly.
thought that I could have possibly thought, like, what are my parents going to say? How am I going to live my life?
Right.
Like, how am I going to do what I want to do?
Because, like, your life in that moment feels like it's, like, a complete shift.
Bro,
almost.
time
like,
froze.
Yeah.
It was literally like, holy... I feel like I'm about to cry for some reason. Oh. It was just like, this is life-changing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, shit, after all those thoughts went through my head and I cried, first thing I did was call this bitch right here.
This bitch.
And she already knew it was up because she knew about the pregnancy test. She knew that I missed my period. And I called her and I didn't say anything. And I remember it was you and Keenan. And you're like, yo, what? You're like, what's up? And I, like, turned the camera around and it was like, you're like, oh, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
I, like, my stomach sunk for you.
Yeah.
Like, but not in, like, that bad way. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like, one of my best friends is pregnant. Like, wow. Like, that was, like, I mean, in my life, the first time one of my close friends is having a baby. So, of course, I'm feeling all the feels, too. I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy.
No, it's...
Yeah.
It's definitely life-changing for everyone around you, for real. And I don't think people talk enough about that.
Yeah.
How that affects absolutely every single person around you.
Right.
Good, bad, whatever. Like, it's going to impact them. And so... yeah, that was my initial reaction, and you're like, what do you want to do? I was like, we're about to go to urgent care and, like, actually find out, because, like you said, I needed a doctor to tell me, like, yo, like, this is real.
This is the real deal. This is what's happening.
Yeah, and, I mean, we went in, and she was like, she's like, you're about 5 to 6 weeks. We didn't know exactly yet.
Right.
Because I didn't know when my last period was, we're being honest.
Yeah. No, I didn't either. They were like, when's your last? I was like, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Because I never tracked it for real.
No, me either.
I'm so bad at it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because it was inconsistent. That was my thing. It was so hard to track it. Because it was like, regardless, it's coming a week later or a week earlier. Like, I don't know until it's here. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I didn't know. But, yeah, that was... we left there. I think I called you again. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
I remember when you hung up the phone with me and Keenan, we were driving, like, we were coming from Keenan's house going somewhere. So we were driving on, like, those side streets. And I was driving, and I was like, Johnny's pregnant. Like, I was just saying it out loud to Keenan, and he was like, I know. Like, Johnny's pregnant. Like, I just kept saying it, like, oh my gosh. Like, a huge, like, transition just, like, happens. Like, literally in, like, seconds almost.
Yeah. What's crazier is that, like, they literally told me my options there. They're like, you have so many options. And I was just like, I'm keeping this child.
Right. But, you know, that's a good thing, though.
And for some reason, too, that moment I thought it was a boy. It was, like, that moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't think it was a girl at all. I never really thought it was a girl either. But it was, I don't know. It was, like, when they told me that, I was like, this is a boy. I don't know. Like,
you just had the feeling.
For my entire childhood, though, like, me and my cousins were all girls. Except for my brother and my aunt. She had a baby. But those are the only boys, and there's, like, 14 girls. And we're all gonna have boys. And I don't know, when I found out, I was like, here I am, starting tradition.
Right. All boys. Yeah. But, like I was about to say, I think that's a good thing that the doctor tells you that there's options. Because I feel like a lot of the time, or sometimes, that they don't tell you that. And so maybe some women have been, like, stuck trying to really figure it out by themselves, like, alone, trying to weigh their options alone, but, like, not getting that reassurance from, like, a professional, like, it's okay to do that, it's okay to have options, because you feel like maybe there's only one thing to do, and it's either keep it or not. I mean, you know, those are both things to do, but you know what I mean? like, yeah, I just feel like to get that reassurance from from a professional, and for them to tell you that it is okay no matter what you choose to do.
It's an option.
Like, yeah.
Like, they're not making you feel like, oh, you need, like, pro-life, like, keeping all of the political stuff out of it.
Literally. Yeah, because it's just too much.
That's too much. And honestly, that's nobody's decision but their own. Mm-hmm. Like, so to give someone the option, like, you're right, that is a great thing. And I went to urgent care. There was one in Willow Grove.
Right.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that doctor. Because she, she was real with me. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah. Your body, your choice, like, all the way, 100%. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep. Facts.
Uh-oh, I hear baby. I hear baby.
Callie.
I'm back with my baby.
Oh my goodness.
She might be hungry though.
Callie. Are you awake, mama?
Not really.
You're getting chunky, girl.
Right? Isn't she?
We love that. Healthy babies out here.
Sometimes I just like hold her. And I'm like, you were in me.
Deadass.
I made you.
That's some real shit.
And then Keenan's always like, I did it too. I'm like, right.
Right. It is not the same.
It's really not. I don't like it when people say that.
No,
because I'm like,
really not.
You didn't carry her for 9 months straight.
Like, yeah, you took part, but this is my baby. Like, we grew.
Yeah.
We went through it.
Literally. So, after all of that happened, like, how did you go about telling the rest of your family or, like, the rest of your friends?
So, I think the second person I told was my sister. Yeah, my sister, she's like 2 years younger than me. That is my girl, for real. So she was actually leaving for college that day. And she goes to actually, y'all don't even know this. You don't even know where she was to school. But regardless, she was leaving for school that day. And I called her in my room, and it was like me and my baby dad. And he's like, yo, we got something to tell you. We're like, close the door. And we were like, yeah, we're pregnant. And she was like, no, you're joking. Like, it's a joke. It's a prank. Because at the time, we were, like, really heavily on YouTube.
And doing pranks and all that.
Just doing everything. Yeah. So she was like, no, it's a prank. And I was like, I will show you the paperwork right now. Because at that time, it was, like, after going to urgent care. And it clearly says on paper, like, all the information. And she was like, oh, my God. I was like, yeah, don't tell mommy. Like, don't tell her mom. Like, do not say anything. And she's like, oh, my God, like, are you gonna keep it? I was like, yeah. I think it was the day after that. I had my friends over my house, and I, like, told them in, like, a kind of cute way. It was, like, written out. Like, it was just, like, it's kind of hard to explain, but.
Yeah.
But, yeah, basically I told them, and everyone was, like, really hype and excited. And I think my mom heard us when it was happening. It was either that, or she went through my purse and saw the pregnancy test, because I left it downstairs by accident when I went upstairs. This remains a mystery to me. I don't know. And I don't want to ask for real, because if she went through my purse, I would be highly upset.
Right.
But, okay. So, so basically she's texting my sister saying, hey, is your sister pregnant? Nina's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, I feel like she's pregnant. She's hiding something from me, whatever. My sister's like, I don't know. Shout out to my sister.
Right. Props to her.
No, she's a real one. Mm-hmm. Like, that is my girl. Okay, so... Regardless, the next day my mom comes into, I think I'm in the bathroom, and she comes up to me and she goes, yeah, I know something about you. I was like, oh yeah, what do you know? She's like, you know what I know? I said, well, I didn't tell you what you know about me, so actually I don't know. We're just going back and forth, and we both know what we're talking about at this point. But yeah, she's like, gotta tell your dad. I was like, ooh, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared.
That's always the scary part, telling the dad. Like, and always.
No, it was like, I think it was like that day, I went and told two of my best friends. Actually, three of them. One of them we had to call because she lives in Rhode Island. I'm not driving up to Rhode Island. Sorry. Love you, Katie. No, thank you. But, yeah, so I told two of my best friends, and I come home, my mom's like, you gotta tell your dad tonight. Mind you, it's like 11 p.m. Like, it is late. This man had a long day at work. Like, he's ready for bed. And she's like, y'all gotta tell him right now. So, mind you, he comes out to the dining room, and he sits down, and I cannot think of words to say to this man because he's a pastor, and I'm scared.
Oh my
gosh. I'm terrified.
Like, yeah.
I'm 21. I live under his roof. I'm terrified. And basically, my friend, she had given me prenatals at the time. that is how I told him. I put them on the table and I slid them towards him and he goes, okay.
Okay.
I'm like,
what does that mean?
Yeah. And that's exactly what he's saying. He's like, what does this mean? I was like, what do you think it means? Like, I'm not gonna have to take those unless it's like, right. And like, yeah, it was like him expressing like his honest truth, and it was just like, you are young, you live here, I don't think you're responsible enough. And I don't think that's what he said exactly, but it might, honestly, I think that's what it was. It was like, you are 21 years old living under my roof, you don't have a college degree, you don't have anything really, so how are you about to do this?
Right.
And I was just like, I don't know. And that's some real shit. I didn't know, and I still don't know. But he was real with me, and I appreciate that. But he loves Romeo with his whole heart, body, soul, everything. Yeah. So, I mean, we're still all figuring it out. I still don't know what I'm doing. But at least he told me ahead of time. Yeah. But regardless, he was supportive from the start about me keeping Romeo. And like a month from that moment of us finding out, this is January 2020. Mm-hmm. Beginning of the pandemic. Like the beginning. Like
that's crazy.
The beginning.
Oh my goodness.
Like, yep.
Yeah.
Like, things weren't even shut down yet, which is crazy. Mm-mm. But he set up like a dinner for my family all to come to my grandmother's house. We had like this picture frame. It was like it like fit stuff in it. So we put like little booties. We put I had an ultrasound at the time. Mm-hmm. It was like, he was a little bean. You can't even see. He's a baby. He's right. Like a little dot. But he's in there and it says coming 2020. And basically we sat my family down. It's a lot of people. It's on my YouTube channel, honestly, if you want to see it, because I did capture this moment. Mm-hmm. But everyone's sitting down and he hands my grandparents a bag, and it's like the frame in it. And my grandparents are the first person to see it because this is their first great grandchild. Like, yeah, this is a huge moment for real. Our family is huge, and like they're always welcoming to children. And I was honestly just terrified because I was like, I'm the oldest grandchild, the oldest niece. Like, like it was just, I was honestly like really scared. And I was recording when that happened, but they pulled it out, and she was like, "Gin." Like, which is like, who? Like, who's pregnant? And they like turned it around, and everyone's like, who is pregnant? Like, who is pregnant right now? And I'm like standing in the corner, and they're like, Mookie, which is one of my nicknames for my family. And I'm like, and they're all looking at me, and then they're like, are you pregnant? I'm like, yeah. And everybody gets up, and they're all like hugging me, and like my aunt starts crying, like per usual. Love her though. Mm-hmm. It was just like this huge moment. And, like, I knew, like, that baby was about to be loved. For real.
Yeah. It's like when you feel that from your family. You're
like that welcoming feeling. Like, that was one of the biggest things that I was afraid of, was, like, my family. Like, what are they about to think? That little boy is loved beyond what he even
he'll never
needs.
know the love
that... He
never
never will.
Yeah, no.
Like, he's really special.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Shout out to him.
Hi, baby. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Baby break. What are you doing? Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Here come the cries.
You want to lay on boobies? Here. Mommy.
We all want to lay on boobies at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how'd you tell your family? Because I just went into that. Like,
so, I already explained how I told my parents, but... After that, basically, it was just, like, I didn't do anything special, really. Like, I didn't get together with my family because, I mean, COVID was happening still. Yeah,
that was...
Still.
This is a whole year later, right? Yeah. So
this was a whole year later, and I didn't end up doing anything special. Like, I just basically called everybody, FaceTime everybody, and, yeah, it was just, like... I feel like everybody's reaction was basically the same. They were all just like, what? Are you, like, no way. Da, da, da. The one person, though, whose reaction, like, killed me was my friend Molly. You know her. Mm-hmm. So I called her, and she just immediately starts crying. Oh, my God. I love her so much. I love you, Molly, if you're watching this. But she was just like... No, you're not. She starts crying. Aww. And it's just, well, it's just so cute to see that from your friends and family, because like you were talking about, like, you know that the baby is just gonna be so loved.
Yeah.
Because, and that's so important.
Not everyone gets that.
Not at all. Not at all. Some women or whoever, single dads too, they find themselves just alone, and you know they're gonna have to do what they gotta do. But to have that village behind you, it really makes the biggest difference.
No,
I mean, I think about that all the time now, because like we've been on this routine where like my mom will come home and she'll just take Callie and sit with her, and like I'm able to like clean my room, shower, maybe go out, get food, or even like last night I was out late.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, if I didn't have this, like I couldn't do any of this. Like when they say that raising a baby or a child takes a village, it really does. It really does. Like I remember, for whatever reason in the beginning of my pregnancy, I always like, I don't know, I was like kind of feeling like very much clingy to my unborn baby, if that makes sense. Like I was like, when she gets here, nobody can touch her.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I get that. That's
yeah, but like, then
nobody.
Right. But then when she's here, I didn't realize how much time is taking away from you, and you need that time. Like like just coming home from the hospital, like being able to shower, like felt amazing. Being able to sit there for like 20 minutes with the water running on me, I was like like just like that like sigh of relief, just because I mean you're able to have some of that time back, you know, because you have those people around you that love your baby just as much as you do, so they do anything for them, like as well.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
She's over here smiling, guys. Just smiling away.
Wait, but how'd you tell Keenan's family?
Oh, right. So, my boyfriend's family, we went over there on his birthday because his mom was having like a little like dinner type of like cookout kind of thing. This was in June, so it was hot out.
Right.
And we go over there, and of course, like a lot of his family happened to be there, like his all his cousins, some of his aunts, his uncles, and of course,
perfect moment.
Right. Of course, his mom ends up inviting my parents to come as well. Now, this is where it kind of went really wrong. Like, basically, of course, you guys know I told you that my mom and dad knew like the first night that I found out. So, you already know what happened.
I know the story, but go ahead.
So, we get there, and actually, no, on the ride there, I'm like, Mom, you can't say anything, like, at all. You can't say anything at all. Wait a minute, I'm forgetting something. Let me backtrack. I think my parents got there after me, because I remember being there with all his cousins and his aunt and one of his girl cousins. And actually, yeah, I ended up pulling out the test out of my purse because Keenan was kind of like, go ahead, like, just do it. Like, I'm like, what do you mean just do it? You do it. Like, this is your family.
Right.
And, yeah, so everybody was just in the living room, and I just walked over to his mom, was like, I gotta show you something, looking all awkward. And I pull out the test, like, out of the thing. Everybody just gets, like, quiet. Like, you could hear, like, a pin drop. And I was like, shit. Like, but then that's when she was looking at it like this. And she was like, well. I'm like, well, what? And, like, you know, all the cousins, like, Dean and them. And, like, Hanif and Hassan, all them. They were, like, I could hear them, like laughing low-key in the back. Because you know how they are.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So... yeah, and then, like, it kind of felt like in that moment I was like, oh, like, they hate it. But then she started crying.
Aww.
Yeah, she started crying. And then I think it was later on that my mom and dad came for the cookout thingy. And that's when I was like, Mom, you can't say anything to anybody. Like, no, like, none of the rest of the family knows. Like, don't say anything at all. What did she do? She gets there, immediately, mind you, she doesn't know any of these people, right? She's never met them before. I'm even meeting new family members. Like, I'm like, okay. So we get there, go into the backyard. Keenan's introducing my parents to his family, and my mom's like, Keenan, do you wanna tell them like what's going on? And of course, like right away, like, you know, his uncle's like, what's going on? Like what happened? And I'm like, no, she did not.
Nah, bro, she's wrong.
I was so upset. I was so upset, like so upset. Oh my gosh, I remember like I was like heating up. I was so upset because
that's her moment.
No, I know, but I think like my mom just couldn't contain herself. Like, she was so excited and wanted the world to know.
I mean, that's all your mom ever wanted, was to be a grandmother.
Literally, when I tell y'all that she had been telling me since I was about, like, 18, maybe, like, you know, I'm just letting you know I don't want to be an old grandma. And I'm like, right.
Oh, my God.
But then, here we are. I was 22 when this was going on. Yeah. And, yeah, I had her when I was 23. Right, mama? Yeah, she's knocked out right now. But, yeah, and then after that, you know, we just kind of slowly started telling our friends over the phone, like I was saying, and, like, I know that we did something with Garnett. Mm-hmm. So he was coming over the house one day, like randomly, and we just come back from getting my prenatals.
Mind you, Garnett is a close friend of ours.
Yes. Yeah. So we just come back from getting our prenatals, and it was me, Keenan, and Nathi driving home to meet him there or here, and we get here, and he walks in. I'm trying to just be like, you know, normal, whatever. We all are, and he sits down at the kitchen table. And I had my prenatals, like, behind my back. And I was like, Garnett, can you, like, hold these real quick? I'm going to the bathroom. He was like, yeah. Like, not paying attention at all. And I put them on the table, and he's like... And I'm just standing there, and he's, like, looking at me. Like, you know that, like, look he does, whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, what? And he's like, y'all are doing that thing. Y'all are doing that thing. Like, thought we were, like, just messing with him, whatever. He was like, y'all are doing that thing again. And I'm like, Garnett, what thing? What are you talking about? Like, look at, what is that? And he didn't believe us for a minute, like, at all. Hi. Sorry, she's stretching.
Oh. You looking around?
With the one eye open. Babies do the funniest things, bro.
So funny.
But yeah, he thought we were joking with him. And then that's when I went and got I took 2 tests by now. I got both tests, and then I went and found the papers from the urgent care. And I put it in front of him, and he's like his jaw just like drops. He's like,
I can imagine his face. I literally can.
I think he was low-key emotional, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. He seemed it. Like, he was just like shocked, so shocked. But, I mean, because that's like his childhood best friend, about to have a baby. Like, yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like that's like, there are moments that I'm definitely going to carry with me, like, forever. And that, like, you know, in my case, I plan on having more children. I'm going to do the same thing with them. Yeah.
Shout out to all our friends and family, for real. I don't know that we even say that we appreciate y'all enough. I mean, I don't think I do.
Yeah, I feel like I don't either. Like, it's they're all very much needed in life.
Yeah, love y'all. But yeah, so that is the end of today's podcast. We're going to end it here because there's so much more to talk about. So much. Like,
and it's going to fill up so many episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. We can just go on for absolutely ever. Like, we can go on forever. So thank you guys for listening to today's episode. We will be back.
Yeah, stay tuned for so many more conversations and topics that people don't want to talk about. All the juicy stuff. We're going to get into it.
Yes, for sure. And yeah, like, I don't know. I'm kind of excited to get into this and just be real with y'all and hopefully connect with other young moms or just moms in general or even just women in general. Like, this is a very judge-free zone, and I know we don't really get enough of that, especially in today's world. everyone's always trying to cancel each other and all that. So
right.
we're not with that.
No.
So yeah, this is just this is a real place, a real safe place, and can't wait to talk more with you guys and share more of our lives and our experiences. And
follow us on Instagram. We made an Instagram.
Yes, we have Instagram now.
It's at a Young MILF podcast.
Yep. Hopefully we're on all platforms.
Right, at some point.
To listen to. We'll see how this goes. We're new to this, okay?
Very new.
Be patient. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. Thank you for listening to a Young MILF podcast. Shout out to all my MILFs out there.
Yes. We love y'all.
Love y'all.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Peace.
Okay.